All right. We really have, I have over the last 3 days analyzed this game from every angle I can find. I talked today about the importance of LSU's quarterback play. You just simply have too many flaws on this team for the quarterback not to make up for them. Meaning, if he's not great, it's just hard to lean somewhere else other than trying to put all the weight in the world on the defense. And sometimes they show up at Clemson or against Florida, a team that doesn't have a very good offense. But A&M just is balanced. A&M threw for 300 on Notre Dame. They ran for 200 on Arkansas and Auburn. They've just got multiple ways to beat you. They can hit you with the big play. Craver's been awesome at that. There's just a lot of ways that A&M can beat you. So for Garrett Nussmeier, if he throws 2 interceptions in this game or is inaccurate on third downs, you're not going to lean on the running game to go beat Texas A&M. And then you're asking too much of the defense. So Garrett Nussmeier's got to be very, very good. I think the most intriguing aspect of this game, especially from a talent perspective, is on the perimeter when Texas A&M has the football. Casey Concepcion and Mario Craver are 2 of the best wide receivers in college football. They have been sensational this year for Texas A&M. You're talking about a couple of guys who have just lit it up on third downs, who have lit it up getting touchdowns. Craver leads the SEC in receiving yards per game at just a shade under 100. Concepcion is second in the SEC in touchdown catches. He's got 6 of those. The Aggies get a lot of 20-yard passes. They're third in the Southeastern Conference with 19 big play passes on the season. Well, LSU, you got to step up. That's Mansour Delane. That's P.J. Woodland, who's playing really good football right now. That's D.J. Pickett, who's getting better and better each week. Does Colin Klein and then Marcel Reed decide, hey, we don't care that you got Mansour Delane over there. We trust our guys. We're going. Do they take that approach? Or do they do what Lane Kiffin said 2 weeks ago and say, hey, we know Delane's as good as it gets. We're going to go elsewhere. Y'all remember how often they threw at Woodland, how often they threw at Pickett? They got some pass interference calls. They hit some plays. Now, Woodland made one coming back, but they decided they were going to go with those 2 guys. I am very curious what Colin Klein and Marcel Reed decide to do from that perspective, because that'll tell me a lot about where they are from a game plan perspective. I mentioned at the top of the show today, Texas A&M has a very, very, very veteran offensive line. LSU has a very, very veteran defensive line. LSU has to rise to that occasion. You're getting Bernard Gooden back, it feels like. You're getting Jamari Butler back. You've still got Peyton and Pyburn and Guillory and Bro and McKinley. You've got numbers. I realize you'd like to have Whit Weeks back there, but you have to hold your own at the point of attack. My point with this LSU defense is if you can limit the run game. They made Clemson quit trying to run it. They made Florida quit trying to run it. Those are worse teams than A&M, but they held their own there. And Florida's got a veteran offensive line. But if you can put the game in Marcel Reed's hand where he's got to go against those LSU DBs, I think that gives you a shot. But if you allow A&M to just hand the ball off to Reuben Owens and let him go and run, they won't turn anything else. They'll get to the read option game. You saw it in the second half last year against LSU. They're happy to do that. Offensively for LSU, a lot's going to be made of the offensive front. I am very excited that they're giving Carius Curran the opportunity to play left tackle. I know what you've got in DJ Chester at left tackle. I know what you've got in Weston Davis at right tackle. Curran is an option. He's got to be. So you turn him loose at left tackle. You understand there may be a stake here and there, but the crowd's not going to get to him because it's not going to be that loud when LSU's got the football. And Brian Kelly said when Curran got that opportunity to play in Oxford when Weston Davis got hurt pregame in that freak accident, that he did some really good things. Now, he made some errors, but he did some really good things. LSU's going to try to run the ball. You're going to see more Harlan Berry. You're going to see Caden Durham. You're going to see Jawan Johnson. But Nussmeier's the guy that's got to make some plays. They have created open men down the field the last few games. They did it against Ole Miss, and he underthrew Hilton. They did it against South Carolina. Hilton dropped it. That play is probably going to be there at some point. It absolutely has to be made, and that falls on Nussmeier, and then it falls on the receivers to make that catch. A&M has Will Lee back there in coverage, but it's not the strength of their defense. The strength of their defense is up front. It is the pass rush. You get into third and longs, that pass rush can eat. Cassius Howell is a bad dude. He leads the SEC in sacks. No matter what side he's on, it's either Weston Davis, who struggled, or you're talking about Carius Curran, who's a freshman. If you get into too many 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 11s, get a holding penalty here, put you behind the chains, have a bad tackle for loss here, you let A&M turn it loose with that pass rush, it's trouble. Got to try to stay ahead of those sticks. A lot of this is cliche stuff, but it's very true. The fact of the matter is that Texas A&M has more avenues to win the game than LSU. They've shown that this year. They've shown they can run it. They've shown they can throw it. They've shown they can beat you with defense. They've shown they can win a shootout. LSU's only blueprint to win a game is stuff you on defense and score 20 on offense. Like that's the only blueprint we've seen from LSU. That makes things really tough. When you have one pitch, one way to win, that makes things really difficult. A&M's got multiple. The Aggies have never won in Tiger Stadium since joining the Southeastern Conference. Gotten close. Should have won in 2021. Max Johnson, Jeray Jenkins, late touchdown, erased that. This game has gone to the home team back and forth since 2016. It is an intense rivalry. It's one that I think both schools would probably point to other schools that they hate, that they're more concerned with. Texas A&M would point to Texas. LSU looks at Bama, looks at Florida, looks at Ole Miss at times. But these two, it's butted into a rivalry. Started early on when LSU was dominating. Then you had the crazy 7 overtime game. LSU repaid that the next year with a domination. A&M beat LSU bad in 2020 in the COVID year in College Station. It's become a real rivalry. And I expect a big, big, big contingent of Maroon headed down I-10 today. I do. And my fear is if the Aggies get rolling like they did in the second half last year, that LSU crowd empties out. But what also is true is that if LSU can bring the fight, get an early score, get an early lead, we know that crowd can buoy LSU. And the Tigers beat a more talented team in Ole Miss in that stadium last year. I think the crowd had a lot to do with that. And playing that defense, which I still think is pretty good, in front of that crowd is a tough assignment. I was very, very fascinated to get the picks from our station for Station Survey, which will go up on LouisianaSports.net tomorrow morning, because no one's picked against LSU all year on Station Survey. I am this week. I don't trust LSU's offense, and I don't think the defense is going to be able to muzzle Marcel Reed and this A&M team. It gives me a lot of anxiety and a lot of apprehension to potentially watch A&M come in and put 15,000 in that stadium and drive LSU fans out of there. It gives me a lot of apprehension. I hope it doesn't happen. But right now, I just don't trust LSU in a lot of phases. So I've got this one 30-16, Texas A&M winning it. I certainly hope I am dead wrong. But it's a must-win for LSU. Your season's on life support. The plug gets pulled if you can't beat Texas A&M in Saturday night in Death Valley. I hope they do it. I just can't pick them to do it based on what I've seen. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.